Kazakhstan.
The mysterious pyramid offered by a founding member of the Board of Peace? That pyramid is in Kazakhstan, and they are a founding member of the Board of Peace that was launched by President Trump. That's where the Palace of Peace is, and the boardroom at the top holds 200 people. It literally says 200 people for religious meetings. Right there. 200 fallen angels descended onto Mount Hermon. This is definitely in the land of Magog right over here. And if you zoom in, you can see the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation. Zoom right in and then click on that dot right there in the corner. Trust me, I've clicked on all of them. And that one oddly takes you inside at the top of it to the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation boardroom. And you can zoom out and you can see how it comes to a point and it's got the birds all in it flying, the peace doves, and then there's a hole in the middle that goes all the way to the bottom of the pyramid. And if you click on that little arrow, it goes right there, and that's the bottom of the board table right there. And if you want to see the four horses of the apocalypse, go down to the opera house right there, and then zoom out, and then click on the little man, and then click on that button right there by that parked car. Boop, that one right there. And then you can look at the top of the roof right there, and the four horses of the apocalypse are right there. You can see two of the founding members of the Board of Peace, the archer and the horseman, right up there in the top corner, and the play on words between Astana and Satana. Just one of the founding members offering this place up, saying, totally can meet here, it's all good. So that just happened January of this year. Peace and religion meetings right up there in the top of the pyramid.
There are so many spiritual kind of elements in everything that they do, and most people just bypass it. They don't think about it. Even here in our country, DC, it's full of it. And it's demonic. It is 100% demonic. And everywhere you look, even the Statue of Liberty, there's the Freemason little compass and a G on it. Like, nearly all of our statues and monuments, you'll see those things. So don't dismiss this. But I think it's important to see it because we are in the last days, and these are their plans. This is what Satan wants for his plans, where he's going to rule once he, defeats Jesus. He believes that at the end of the tribulation. Yes, because he's still full of pride and foolishness. This is what these are man's plans. But we know they are hurtling towards their end, and that is why we're seeing all this craziness happening at once. Put it all together, the energy lockdowns, how they get the oil, what they want to do, to enslave us, all these AI data centers, the mark of the beast technologies. So we're just seeing it ramp up the beast system. But again, these are people that are left, well, they're going to be destroyed in very short order, as the Bible says.
An Easter egg laid in the Tree of Life is just one of the things that we paid over $40 billion for in Astana, Kazakhstan. That place is actually called Magog in the Bible. But if you scroll around a little bit, you can see the columns of Freemasonry right there, Obed and Jasam or whatever they are. And then if you scroll right past them, you can see the presidential palace and then the triangle or the pyramid, which is the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation. Over $40 billion built you a nice pyramid with a boardroom for 200 people, just like the fallen angels right there. And then right across the river, as soon as you get out of the board meeting, you can go over to the presidential palace and enjoy a nice evening right there. Site right here for the USA shows that we spent $44.8 billion in Kazakhstan. When the top 3 nuclear powers are eliminated, Kazakhstan will be the new leader. Largest producer of uranium. When the Soviet Union collapsed, they ended up with all the warheads. These people are a founding member of the Board of Peace. What a great idea to be the founding member of that. We paid for all this too, and inside this egg, which is laid in the Tree of Life, there's a shape of the planet right here that's never been seen before. So it's sort of like half round, half flat, half whatever you call it. It has all the continents on it, inside the egg that was laid in the tree of life. The celebration about that egg in the tree of life is supposedly one of the oldest celebrations on the earth. That's at the end of March. So we paid billions of dollars for this great cosmic tree where this bird lays a golden egg, which is the sun, and then this dragon that lives beneath the tree, he tried to eat the egg. Right around Easter time, you just let that $44 billion sit there with you for a minute. Where do you think all the people are going to gather for their religious meetings? Not only did we build that pyramid right there in the background, but we built a copy of the bird that laid that egg in the tree of life, too. These people we've got billions of dollars invested into don't look for a lot of eggs because they think it's the sun.
So again, like I said, there's a lot of layers that go into it, and that bird that you see is actually a phoenix. It is actually also believed that the American eagle, the bald eagle, that's not originally, was not an eagle. That's what they say it is, and that's how they present it now. But if you look back, there's a ton of evidence, especially with our Freemasonry founding, that it's a phoenix also. It is a phoenix.
There's 200 fallen angels according to the book of Enoch. 200 angels descended to earth. 200 people for religious meetings can meet at the top of that pyramid. That's the hole in the middle of the boardroom. That hole right there. Right down there. Over the hanging gardens. Those hanging gardens. I know, the hanging gardens of Babylon. The boardroom is over the hanging gardens in the pyramid. That's the sign on the elevator. At the top of that pyramid, right there. If you don't have wings when you go through the boardroom table, you're gonna end up right there. And they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. All about the Watchers is written in Enoch, Book 1. The Knights of the Round Table, over the hanging gardens. I hope they don't hit this Jesus statue right here while they're bombing Lebanon, because Lebanon was tired. Right here in the book of Isaiah, it tells you that Lebanon shall see the glory of the Lord. The glory of the Lord, right there. But where's Magog in the book of Revelation? The zombies are walking toward it inside the UN building. The zombie is walking toward the bird that is over the dragon. It's that bird over that dragon with the sword. That's the back wall of the United Nations building. And that bird over that dragon is that bird in Magog. The legend is there's a dragon underneath the bird that laid an egg, which is the sun in the tree of life. That bird. It's that egg in that tree of life. Magog, Kazakhstan, whatever. Revelation 20 says Gog and Magog. Those people are these people. They're from Japheth, right here. And Astana is right in the middle of it. The bird has a name, and it is an AI model that runs all of their money. The bird's name is Samruk, just like their AI model that was appointed to their board of directors. The AI-powered board member that Astana is going to put into place will run the region with decision-making powers. So that's happening right now in Astana. And out of the 173 billion that they'll be rolling around in, 44 billion of it is ours. And when these three superpowers are eliminated in a war, then Kazakhstan will be the #1 nuclear arsenal on the planet. Remember, that's Magog. Revelation chapter 20. Right there in verse 8.
I find this one of the most interesting conspiracies or truths I have ever come across. Check this out. Okay, so as we all know, Borat the movie made us all believe that Kazakhstan was somewhat a third world mess, you know, with This My Sister and all this shit going on in the slums of Kazakhstan. Now, for those that don't know, Kazakhstan is a massive country situated literally in between some of the biggest powers of the world. China, Russia, you know, you've got Afghanistan and Iran, all the world wars at the bottom here. But Kazakhstan has a capital city named Astana. Now it looks pristine, it looks like it's living in the future, but more than anything, it is massively symbolic. Now Astana straight away is an anagram for Satan. We know how they love to jumble up the letters just to hide what their truths are. It's called truth in plain sight. Now in Astana, one of the richest places in the world for oil reserves, it has places that look like they're generating free energy and somewhat looks like a new futuristic city that we have never really heard about. And it wouldn't be the anagram of Satan without it having a, memorial for the light, the torch, the light bearer, Lucifer. It's literally all over our realm, the Olympics, the statue of Lucifer, the Statue of Liberty is holding the light. Lucifer was the light bearer of this realm. Now, let me introduce you to the Palace of Peace, which is also, look, there is the torch memorial. This is a pyramid called the Palace of Peace in Astana. Now, does this look like anything to you? Because it sure damn resembles something that I've seen so many times on the dollar note. A pyramid with a top section. A pyramid with a top section. Well, the all-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid, that room right there in the Palace of Peace in Astana has an immaculate meeting room. Now, this said meeting room is literally made for worldwide religious meetings that we never, ever hear about. And, right here, there is 200 immaculate seats. 200. Just like in, the book of Enoch, which was taken out of the Bible, there was 200 watchers that descended to earth onto Mount Hermon to follow Satan to rule earth. So if there maybe was 200 fallen angels that came down from heaven to rule earth, maybe there would be a meeting room that would look like the all-seeing eye in a place that is an anagram for Satan, where they have 200 immaculate seats and they held worldwide religious meetings that no one ever hears about. We know they love to use gematria to sign their work. Now look at Borat's gematria code, it's 233, which is also their favourite number, 33 times 2, you've got 66. Oh, and looky here, Astana, the capital city of Kazakhstan, which Borat was used to lie to the world to make everyone think it was a third world country, is also the number 233, which once again is their favourite number, 33. Times it by 2, you get the 66. But obviously, beautiful people, once again, this is just for entertainment. Clearly I don't actually believe that the world is a stage and movies like this aren't actually in the Matrix just to make us look the other way from certain things and push certain narratives. No, that's just me being a conspiracy theorist once again.